Good morning, traders. Today is Wednesday, November 23rd. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right, well, I wanted to start today just kind of zoomed out a little bit here, looking at the market on a bigger picture, looking at the daily candles. We can see we got a lot of excess with the CPI last week, right? We created this big push to the upside. One thing that we know about markets is that excess often leads to balance. When you make a very large move, the market needs to spend some time kind of just digesting that move. One way it can do it is with price. It can pull back price and digest the move that way. Or it can use time, in which case it just kind of goes sideways at higher prices, balancing, while the market tries to decide, is it ready to go higher or does it need that pullback in price? So what we've got going on in the markets here over the last couple weeks is just balance, right? It's just the market rotating sideways, trying to make up its mind. Do we want to go higher? No? Okay, cool. Let's see. Do we want to go lower? No? Okay, cool. Do we want to go higher? Right? And it'll just kind of keep doing this dance, trying to figure out which direction it wants to break. Does it want to go higher or does it want to go lower? So that in mind, boy, it sure looks like we might be opening today right at a previous balance area high. So that would tell me that if this morning the market, the two highest probabilities, there is always the chance we just go sideways. That's, there's always that on the table. But there is potential that the market wants to break higher today or turn around and head back down towards the opposite end of the balance. The option where we just sit right at a balance area high or a balance area low, that is the least likely scenario to play out here today. I look at the overnight inventory and I see that the overnight inventory was completely neutral. They literally went nowhere. They just grind up and down right on that balance area high. Okay. Actually, that's on the Q. There we go. So that is the indecision, right? This is the market trying to decide. Do they want to break higher and take the market higher today? Or are they going to fail and head back down towards the opposite end of balance? So I'll be looking at, as always, I'll be expecting chop inside this overnight range. But if we can get above yesterday's high, which we're doing right now, find support up here. It's very important we got to find support. Look at all the resistance that could smack us down. So we have to find support up here. But if we can, I'll be looking to test that overnight high. Same thing there. Can they push above that overnight high and turn it into support? Both of those things happening, getting above yesterday's high, finding support, getting above the overnight high, finding support, that is the only thing that will get me bullish that they're trying to take the market higher. Otherwise, I assume they're going to want to play some games right here on that balance area high. They're going to want to fake us out. They're going to want to make it look like they're going to break higher. They're going to want to make it look like they're going to break lower. They're going to chop, and get as many people long and short as they can before they either fail and head lower or continue higher. So I will be extremely cautious looking for that bigger move today, keeping in mind that they love to play games right at a balance area high. They love to mess with you and fake you out. So caution is called for here this morning. It is also worth noting that we opened inside the spike up from yesterday. That is bullish as a sign of momentum. So that slightly increases the odds they may be able to take the market higher. But I, of course, still want to see that support above the overnight high. Will I be watching yesterday's halfback for support? I will be watching that area, but not necessarily because it's halfback, but more so because it's just a big node of volume. But yes, I will. The most important level from yesterday is the base of the spike. When that breaks, we know that signal the market was giving us by opening inside that spike is now gone. That momentum is gone. And boy, you do not want to lose bullish momentum right at a balance area high, right? Because that increases the odds that if you don't have the buyers up here, you need to head back down towards the opposite end of balance looking for buyers down here. So that spike is going to be very important to the downside. And so it chops. We got 123 people hanging out. Only 38 likes. Please smash that like button. Give me a little pre-Thanksgiving thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Also, as you can see from the link in the description and in the chat, 40% off. If you've been thinking about buying that e-course, if you've been saying to yourself, there's something interesting about the way Charles talks about this two-way auction. I wish I understood what he meant. I wish I could tell when there's more buyers or sellers and what signal to look for. If that's something you've been considering, you may want to check out that e-course. And you won't get a better deal than this. I can promise you that. Great way to distract yourself from the family over Thanksgiving. Say, sorry, family. I got some market profile to learn. Okay, so great moment here talking about the market profile and the little advantages that it gives us. So this is a little bit bullish, right? The fact that we're above yesterday's high and we're bringing in volume is a little bit bullish. But we haven't been able to get the ticks above the zero line yet. And we also still haven't repaired this weak reference. So those are the two next steps we need to see in order to be confident that we've got some bullish momentum here. If we don't see them and the market starts to pull back down, that would be a when what should happens doesn't, that would be bearish. So sometimes you want to be really bullish, sometimes you want to just be a little bit bullish. You might say the highest probability is a test of the overnight high, but I'm not convinced. I'll wait for more information. Gino says PMI at 8:45. You mean 9:45, New York time. I'm walking here. I'm telling time here. Okay, so there's a repair of the previous week reference and a test of the previous volume point of control. So now the next target for the market is testing the overnight high at 40.22. Can they get above there? Can they bring in new buyers up there? Can they get the ticks above the zero? Can they hold them above the zero? These are the questions. The high is currently weak because it is only 23 contracts and it was all sellers. Yeah, we got Michigan sentiment today. We got FOMC. We got lots of stuff happening, but there's not going to be a lot of participants, so I don't know that it's going to bring much volatility. But we'll see. Okay, so now if we look at the ticks, they're still below the zero line, which means there are still more sellers than buyers in this market up here. And then when we look at the book map, we see that most of the buyers up here are actually sellers that got stopped out. And that makes us think that maybe there isn't really new buying happening above yesterday's high. Maybe this is just squeezing out the sellers, which is less bullish to see. Kathy, support levels. Right now, the only support level that really matters is the base of the spike at 4,002. Does that hold? If not, it's not really a matter of support, because then it becomes a look above and fail of the balance area, and it becomes more a matter of resistance, right? Let me zoom out once more. This is a really important concept that you guys understand. When a market opens on a day like today, you need to be thinking about it in this way. This is what you need to be asking yourself. You need to be saying, we have a balance area. We passed from one end, we looked above and failed, passed through to the other end, looked below and failed. Now we've passed up to the other end again. So what matters up here is, are we going to keep going, or are we going to fail and head back down to the opposite end? The only level that really matters is the base of that spike or that overnight low, which are the same here, to tell us which of those two is happening. Are we building up momentum to continue the breakout higher, or are we going to fail and pull back down? So that's my focus. Once it fails, which of these levels will become support? Who knows? This could be support. This could be support. This could be support. This. So I'm not worried about support right now. I'm really more worried about the momentum, the breakout from the balance area. Can they do it? Once I know that, once I know they're trying to go higher or they're trying to go lower, then I'm looking for support and resistance. Okay, so with that PMI data coming out, we got a little spike in the market. They left very thin volume. Obviously, it's a news reaction, so kind of ignore it. But it is a little bit bullish that it was to the upside. All right, so pushing above the overnight high is bullish. I don't trust the way all the volume is. It hasn't come back yet. I understand why they disappeared because they were waiting for the news to come out, but why haven't they come back? Okay, so now we're testing that overnight high. And I've got PMI misses. Yes, sir. That's what it looked like. Yep. Forecast 50, actual was 47. But remember, it's not the numbers. The numbers don't matter. It's how the market reacts to the numbers. It's whether the market was expecting them to be worse or better. That's what matters. All right, well, this is support above the overnight high, which is bullish. And I assume they are holding those ticks. They are. So I'm going to get bullish here, but I will warn you all, I am very cautiously bullish here. It doesn't feel like a strong move. It feels like a bit of a fake out on very, very thin volume. When there's less participants in the market, it's very easy to push the market around with very little volume. And it feels like that may be all this is. They're just looking for a push up to see how far they can push it. But they are in charge right now. So I'll go with the buyers until they run out. To remain bullish, they got to keep it above yesterday's high. If they start to pull back down in yesterday's range, I instantly become bearish for a look above and fail. Well, for a way of having something happen in my life, let's take a look at the NQ. NQ, same as ES, above the overnight high, is a little bit bullish. Same exact thing. You got a balance area in here. Could also make the argument that they broke out of balance yesterday, that the balance area was more like this. So the yesterday was the breakout, but we still need the back test. That is also possible. So both markets just teetering right on that important level to go higher or to fail and go lower. All right, so this will be that Michigan sentiment. Data coming out. Let the bots fight over that. Okay, overnight high broke. That is less bullish to see. We're now looking for halfback to act as support where we currently are. All right. Well, as we discussed earlier this morning, if this is what it's starting to look like it is, I don't think it is. And this is what I'm going to make an argument against the market generated information here, which you all know I have a terrible track record in the past of doing. Generally, if I try to outsmart the MGI, it fools me. But here's the way I see this, okay? This move higher that we just had to get above the overnight high, it should be a sign to us of momentum. All right. The fact that we opened with a gap up yesterday and then were able to find support around yesterday's high was a sign there was momentum in the market. That led to a rotation to the opposite end of balance. Makes perfect sense. Okay. The spike up at the end of the day yesterday was a sign of momentum. Opening inside that spike this morning made perfect sense. Okay. So we had momentum. We still have momentum. Market opens. It's able to get above yesterday's high, find support, get above overnight high, and now it's finding support. So once again, tick, it's checking the box. But does this feel like momentum to you? Does it feel like they're buying every possible dip? They're so desperate to get long? We don't quite have that feeling yet. So the market generated information is bullish here. But I just don't feel very confident that the market's going to make a big move. It technically could. It's set up for it. But I'm just not feeling it yet. Design not, but how many times have our feelings led to a slow melt up or a slow melt down? Well, exactly. That's what's tricky about it. They can keep playing that game all day, convincing traders it's about to pull back, get them short, pop a little higher, squeeze them out. Convince them it's coming to an end, get them short, pop it back high. I mean, they can do that all day and just slowly melt up, driving us mad. It would not be the first time. Okay, so the initial balance is now to the upside. That is a little bit bullish. Okay. Oh, I love these stats. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving has been positive 78% of the time. Woohoo! So we know just to go long for a 0.30% gain. Oh, shit. Okay. The day after Thanksgiving has an average return of 0.22. So what you're saying is we're all wasting our time here. The market's going nowhere. Uh, Design Knob says he's going to buy 10 e-courses as stocking stuffers. I just think this is a brilliant idea. I fully support this. I'll be keeping an eye out on my my email for that order to go through, Knob. Ed G says stats are only interesting if they are accurate. Market is bearish, so only bear market stats should matter. I would say it's an interesting stat just because it doesn't matter bear market or bull market. It just has to do with market volatility, right? That the day before and after Thanksgiving, there just is no volatility, which makes sense. Bull market or bear market, most people are not trading. They're either at home dealing with their in-laws or they're getting on a plane on their way to go deal with their in-laws. So, yeah, it would make sense that we'd have less activity and just have kind of a slow, grindy day. So with the printing of the C period here, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. Say au revoir, farewell to you and all of yours. I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a good time. You eat some tasty turkey. And I'm going to take Friday off as a little vacation day. So I look forward to seeing you all here on Monday morning. And hopefully much wiser because a bunch of you took the e-course in the meantime. All right. Thank you very much. And we will see you on Monday. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Also, the market just created a poor high, which is in need of repair. Repairing that high would be the beginning of a trend to the upside. Dre, thank you for the sub. Welcome. Dr. Dre said, "Nothing, you idiot. Dr. Dre's dead. He's locked in my basement."